What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the official Cliffy J, and I'm back with another video. And today I'm gonna be continuing on with ranking every final in challenge history. I didn't want last video to be too long, so now I'm here with number 20 to number 1 on my list. Now, if y'all haven't watched part 1, go ahead and check out part 1. It is right there in the description. And I'm going to try to put it somewhere on this video if I end up remembering. Hopefully it's somewhere on this video. If it's not, I got a card. It's a card that's going to be showing it, okay? Click on the card. It's there. The promo card, you know it's there. It's there for sure. I might have it, the link, but it's somewhere, okay? So y'all cannot avoid watching that other video first. Go ahead and watch that one. Come back here. You know what I'm saying? And let me know what y'all thinking of my ranking so far. And let's get into it. And at number 20, I've got Battle of the Eras, Season 40. This is generally probably an underrated final with a super dumb ending. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. Because it wasn't somewhat, it was competitive. The women were competitive. And that's what the entertainment part was for me. Actually been able to watch these women, all elite women, go at it. It was fun to watch. Obviously, for all the Tory haters, you guys could dunk on Tory, so you guys should enjoy that. Right? And also, I actually don't mind it being, I will say this, I don't mind the uniqueness of the final where a lot of finals are heavily one thing, heavily another thing, but you don't have many finals that are heavily swimming, that are majority swimming. And I don't really mind that because it's certain finals that are majority running. I mean, it's all right, y'all sitting there capping. But yeah, swim, checkpoint, checkpoint, swim, checkpoint. Obviously, it could get redundant. And I will understand the redundancy, which is probably why it's this low, but I don't think it was bad. Watching Jordan dominate, I don't never think it's really anything wrong with that, even when it's expected. So I'm going to go ahead and have it at number 20. This way.
We can't do that.
Yes, you can.
Moments later.
Ow!
Later. Later.
Damn.
And at number 19, I've got Ride or Dies. And this one is just too long, bro, for no reason. And nothing seemed like it actually mattered at all before that last running through the corn maze crap. Nothing mattered before that. It was just like, do this last run, then you win this placement, then you get to have them go into elimination, and then guess what? We'll just do another elimination with this puzzle. Whoever wins that is now the champ. This is stupid. All the good players were held back by weak players, which just took all the aura out of the final. It gave the final zero aura. You got Jordan versus Bananas, but you gotta remember that Nani is tacked to Bananas and then Anise is tacked to Jordan. It's just like, oh, you got Tori and she's still tacked to Devin, bro. Like, and I ain't saying Devin's the worst ever, bro. He was good for that final. I'm gonna be real. He was good for that final, right? But no aura, bro. Devin ain't got no aura. And at number 18, I've got The Inferno 3. And I just do, I'm gonna be real. This is low-key bias and glaze. Because this final, having the puzzles being outlined and like everything was like simple and it was mostly just about strength, speed, and teamwork. I just like how so many finals have so many flaws. This is like almost a flawless, like from a competitive standpoint. Wasn't entertaining. It wasn't that entertaining at all, but it was very flawless. It was a good team final. And I'll be honest, when I was doing this ranking, I really gave a big nod to simplicity, because simplicity is key. It is. It leaves me with less of like a bad taste in my mouth after the final. Finals like this, I might be like, oh, that wasn't that entertaining. But I know it wasn't super easy, right? It wasn't the easiest thing ever. And I also know for a fact that I'm leaving knowing that I feel like, okay, the right team won though. The right team won. It wasn't any BS in these type of finals and in this one specifically.
I just hope that Casey's not going to hold me back too much. She's too young, immature, and stupid to understand how much is really on the line right now. It's only 1, maybe 2 hours of pain.
That's it. Fresh meat. And I really do like this final. I like the boot camp style of fresh meat, especially on this season. And it was a good long distance run that involved weight and puzzles. The entertainment value was a little bit lower than some of the ones lower than this, and definitely lower than some of the ones above this. Especially with the fact that the V was the only one really killing the puzzles. But like I said, simplicity is key, and I can't really leave this one with many issues. And at number 16, I've got Double Agents. Now, I'm not someone who hates Fessy. I think we know that by now. But at this time, if we're gonna be honest, this was like the peak of anti-Fessy rhetoric, bro. This was when everyone didn't like Fessy except for like a select few. And Nelly was probably at his most likable in his challenge career because this is after Total Madness. Come on, bruh. It's literally fuck Fessy right now. And since it's literally fuck Fessy at the time, even though I like KC, it was just kind of like, you're not celebrating when KC get injured, but you're celebrating when they're eating and he's not eating. You're celebrating when Leroy's calling him pussy. You celebrated. You laughed with Leroy and you were saying it too. Yeah, you was. Be honest. And at number 15, I've got Battle of the Exes 2. I thought this was one of the most balanced finals, like balanced, simple finals. Pretty perfect. It was a good team, good pair final. The opening swim to the canoe, the food checkpoint that had everybody's stomach on fire, a couple word scramble-ish carnival games, bike ride, overnight portion, the the last little mountain climb. It wasn't competitive because of Leroy's swimming ability, but it seemed like it was for a second when it was the carnival games. Teresa was getting them in there. Teresa had a great season. She looked like the best female competitor. And it was just really, I liked this final. Jay and Jenna quitting was funny, obviously. So this final got it for sure. And at number 14, I've got...
I can see the big flag. Let's go. Stop it. If I can see it, you can see it. Just run. Come on, Sam. Run. Stop making Sam. Come on.
Battle of the Seasons 2012. And oh my God. Don't cancel me, guys. Don't cancel. I ain't worried about cancel. But don't cancel me, y'all. Don't cancel me. This is the thing about this final. I'll say the negative first. You start to realize how mid this cast is really in the final. Because it's like, these people really made the final? Like, these people really made the final, bro? What's going on? That's kind of like how you low-key feel a little bit at this final. But Frank and Sam's altercation, it was absolutely disgusting. It was just sick. Frank should be banned from the show. Why is Frank even back? Whoa. Nah, okay. I'll be honest. It was bogus. It was terrible for him to push her like that. It was terrible how Zach and Frank were acting the entire season. But it was so funny, bruh. It was funny, bruh. Sam! I gotta play the clip. Play the clip. Go ahead. I'm sorry if that hurts you. But that was hilarious. It was for the time that we cannot say right now. It is not funny right now. It's not funny now. I would never laugh at that now. But at the time, come on, y'all. Come on. You did not watch that. And you guys might not have been there. But you did not watch that. And you were not at least somewhat like, come on, Sam, get up. Come on, you're right at the finish line. Get up. Why are you walking right now? You were at least, okay. You know what? I ain't gonna keep telling y'all what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking that. It's okay. That's what I was thinking. And I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry. And at number 13. Also a very simple final, though it has the switching partners that I don't love, but I do like how they execute. I think this is probably the best they ever executed it. You already know what's bad about this final. Switching partners. That's really it. I'm gonna be honest. It was simple. It was good. I like it. Not my favorite to watch. That's probably why it's this low. But you got the kayaking, you got the race, 10K run. I mean, you got the 10K run, you got the tree puzzle, you got the mountain climb, you got the death of Zach. I mean, you got the volcano climb. Like, it was great. Good final. I loved it. And at number 12, I've got Total Madness. This was not an easy final by any stretch of the imagination, but the checkpoints were the type to like not have people overly stumped and they're too long. And like I said, I really do enjoy like a easy final to understand. You know, like it's not one where everyone's all fucking, oh my god, whoa, or you feel like it's rigged. Like I don't like the ones where you feel like it's rigged after. I don't like those, or you feel like it's unfair. And I'm actually a big fan of Total Madness in general as a season. It was decently fun to watch, and I enjoy watching Corey give Bananas a run for his money and still getting fraud checked at the end because he can't do math. That's funny. Like, you're still the same guy. You're still the same guy that couldn't figure out triangle. But yeah, I personally was impressed by Jenny's dominance, and it was good to watch, even though her comp really wasn't really doing nothing. She had two people that had to drop out in the final. That's crazy, right? But at the end of the day, Vintage Bananas able to catch up at the end and get it done. It was cool to watch. I liked it. And at number 11, I've got Rivals. This probably should be higher than this, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Relative to Era is higher than this for sure. Relative to Era, it's like a top 3 final, right? But I like that this final was the first 2-day final. That really does go into why it's so high. And this is one of, if not the most, not for me, that's not the most, but it's one of the most rewatchable finals. I love the ball and chain aspect. I really, really like the remake in the campsite. I wish they would do a similar final to this so they can remake a campsite, just so they can have that exact same one. But we all have to keep it real. The biggest flaw in this final, and one of the biggest flaws in challenge history, if we're going to be honest, is them cutting Kenny and Evan's lead. That takes away the gas out of the fact that Kenny carried Wes. Like, it just takes away that gas. I don't like it. And I gotta have it this low because of that. But it's super high, as y'all see. Super glazed. And at number 10, I've got War of the Worlds. And also has one glaring flaw that knocks it down for me. But this is probably my favorite to watch. Like, if I'm just gonna watch one, when I'm not taking into account anything else, it's one of my favorite to watch. Extremely grueling, over 30 miles, maybe my favorite elimination in a challenge final. I really like that elimination. I don't know why. And then I just hate that it wasn't 2 winners. And I hate that the women had to face the men. I'm not into that personally. I don't know. Especially in very grueling stuff like this. Look at how many more women had to drop out than the men. Like, I just think it just was dumb. I think it was stupid. I didn't like that aspect. Though Ninja did show out. So you got to give her that. And I did like that a lot. And at number 9, I've got Bloodlines. And this season was extremely fun to watch. It was a moderately difficult final, especially for the men. And the extra weight really did screw all the guys up to start. Like, their knees was buckling. They almost, man, it was done. But it was also a pretty close final. And I like that you didn't really know 100% who was about to win at the end, though. Cara and Jamie definitely did perform better. And they looked really good in this final. It was fun to watch Cara get her first win also. And at number 8, I've got Fresh Meat 2. I'm not the biggest fan of the Fresh Meat seasons and the way that they have to do the same elimination every time. But man, this was a great final, not just from a storybook ending perspective, with a good guy in Landon, with a weaker, more underestimated female partner. beating the super dominant, historically super villainous figure in Kenny, you know what I'm saying, with the new hotshot rookie partner that was also pretty much a villain already after an extremely dominant season. Like, yeah, it was a really good ending in that way. But I also really like how the final did test them in multiple areas. It wasn't just run and do it was obviously just run and do this, but it was in, the climate. I like the climate. I do say I like that. I like the climate of these more, because a lot of finals are in a more hot desertous type area or like a tropical type area. So I did like that this wasn't like one of those type of areas. And I do kind of favor those finals who don't really have those much. So I will say that maybe I was a little biased towards freshman because of that, not just because of the storybook perspective. And at number 7, I've
smoking the other team, and we're approaching the first buoy way ahead of them.
We are so far behind, but there's no way that our team is giving up.
We're assuming that by the time we get around to the game, they're probably going to be almost finished. But then we realize they haven't done a damn thing yet.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Wait, hold on.
That one on top.
This one goes on top of that one. All of a sudden, it just hit me, and I was like, I got it.
Mike gets this look in his face like he just saw a naked woman and he thinks he's got the puzzle.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Run. We're done. Go.
Battle of the Seasons. And relative to era, I think this is one of my favorite finals. Not just because this is one where the Road Rules team had a lead for a majority of the final, and then the Miz was able to clutch it at the end. I also just like that, of course, it was mostly done in the water, so that's not common. And in that era, you know what I'm saying, it was just good to see some, like when I'm going to go watch back, because I obviously didn't watch it when it actually happened. When I'm going to go watch back, it was nice to see they already had a nice little final setup. And I liked it. It was a good final, and I'm ranking it this high, relative to era. And I actually think it's a pretty entertaining one, especially on a first time watch. And at number 6, I've got
Run!
I'm sorry.
Corey, you are going into elimination.
Check.
Battle for a new champion. And I personally thought this season was elite. I know that's a hot take. I dislike the one winner aspect. And if I'm being honest, I don't mind it as much because of how this final was built, you know what I'm saying? And how the season was built in general. But, battle for a new champion. It wasn't a new champion. So I kind of get, can't get too mad about it being a one winner format. And like I said, I like the team aspect because it gave them, the incentive to actually try their best because they could actually get the money and whatever. And the fact that Corey failed the way that he did, he screwed up and he had to instantly make up for his mistake. Like with being voted straight in and then having to beat Jay, him beating Jay, who was the biggest villainous figure of the season. It was just really, I enjoyed the way the final played out. Reese being able to beat Mariah in elimination was kind of cool too. Obviously, the best case scenario would have been Reese winning. Now that's why it's not higher on the list. Or obviously, if it would have been a 2-winner format, like it would have been higher on the list. But the way they set everything up in the final, I personally really enjoyed. I liked a lot about the final, and I definitely think that they could do another season like this. I would love to see another Battle for a New Champion season sometime down the line, for sure. And at number 5, I've got Rivals 2. Format-wise, it's decent, but I do not like that the first team is eliminated, even though it played out perfectly with that being the case, because if any team was going to get eliminated, it's best that it was Jordan and Marlon. I don't think they would have been as competitive in the next stage, even though I think that Marlon probably was honestly in better shape than Bananas on this season, of course. Wes and CT versus Bananas and Frank at the time was one of the most toughest elite, desired finals we could have got, from a male perspective. Then we also have the Cara and Cook, which came out to be a very strong team against Emily and Paula, which even though from a name perspective, it's not as good of a final. It was obviously a pretty decent final to watch them competing against each other. And though it wasn't fully close, The fact that the extra caveat of the leading team had to unblock the entrances, it made it a little more fun to watch, and obviously it made it a little closer. And like I said, simplicity is key, and this is a very easy final to understand and to follow. And it was hot as hell in Thailand, and it clearly wasn't a cakewalk. So I really enjoyed this final to watch, and I also think it was a pretty good, fair, fun, hard final for them to do. We seen just gassing out and just, yeah. And at number 4, I've got...
I'm going down. It's time for us to move forward, but Coral is on the ground again.
And she's gone. My eyesight and my left eye is completely gone, and my toes are starting to become numb.
Take a knee. Take a knee.
It's all right. It's really, really tough between my number 3 and my number 4, but I gotta go ahead and say Gauntlet is number 4. The final was probably the most difficult they did, difficult final or thing they did on the challenge, at least until Fresh Meat or the Inferno 2. So that's a couple seasons later, a few seasons later. And it's one of the hardest finals pre-Rivals for sure. And Coral going down with the spider bite adds an extra, element of fear and oh my God, this is crazy. She's dying like Big Easy, you feel me? But it was just pronounced, if not more, right? And obviously the rules in the final, they were able to continue after Coral fell out and stuff like that and still could have won. And like I said, this final was extremely difficult for the era. It's a lot about this final that I like and a lot that makes me have to put it up this high. And it just, from the entertainment standpoint, it's a little less entertaining and more captivating. And that's why I got it at number 4. And at number 3, the third best final to me is Rivals 3.
But I need to
Please
look after myself and invest in my future. So I'm going to go ahead and take the money and run, teacher.
And I like the fact that this was a tough, high altitude final with puzzles and multiple runs that had the game within a game. Even though I don't love the stealing money from the partners, the game within the game was much more easy to understand because how the checkpoints were set up. So I was not just able to digest it on here much better than Final Reckoning. I enjoyed the game within a game, right? And then also the way they edited the final, though they made it very obvious that Johnny and Sarah were going to win, they didn't make it completely obvious on if Johnny was actually going to take the money or not. So we were able to get to that point, and him taking the money was an insane moment. Obviously, if we also take into account their prior history, that enhances the final even more. And I'm someone that obviously knew the history coming into it. So I got to put it this high. Though I hate the taking money from your own partner standpoint, I just love the way that this all played out. It was amazing. It was terrible to watch Sarah have to cry like that, but it was karma. It was karma. And at number 2, I've got...
This has to deal with a triangle, math, and division. All subjects I am not good at.
Got Invasion of the Champions. And I will say I'm slightly biased towards this because this is one of my favorite seasons, but I love the entire final other than the switching formats. Though I'm not the biggest Ashley or Nicole fan, watching Ashley beat Camilla is a very good aspect. And then I'm also a huge CT fan, so watching CT get another win was also really good. But even if we're just talking about how the final was set up, I like a lot of the puzzles. I thought the puzzles were, things that are not super duper complicated. You can know them if you've done it before, or there's something you can figure out. But it wasn't so easy that someone dumb would be able to do it, as we were able to see with Corey and Nicole. On top of the fact, I like how it wasn't 100% one thing, or it was a lot of switched up different things, right? So you had swimming, you had running, you had the what was that? Were they on on surfboards? The surfboard little aspect. It was nice and well rounded, and it had different aspects you had to go into. It was also in Thailand, so it was super hot. So yeah, really like this final. And at number 1, I've got...
Come on, Chris!
Hey, a little faster! I'm moving!
Come on, Chris!
And honestly, it's probably the best and the easiest to just watch, the most watchable one that you could probably cut off for anybody to watch. Just watch this race. Watch this race. This race got aura. You know what I'm saying? So I like snow finals. I've already said that. I like that it's not like every other final, especially at the time. This was the first snow final for real. It was basically a straight up race, you know what I'm saying, with a few checkpoints. I like the sled section. I really do like that with the dogs. I like the beginning and how the first day was only really to determine sleeping arrangements. I like day two, you know what I'm saying. DM and CT were slightly dominating, but Bananas and Camilla were there. You know what I'm saying? Which always gave it a little sense of, well, all they got to do is just, have that final push. And then CT gasses out. Bananas and Camilla, though they're more unlikable than the other pair, they were able to snake it at the end. I snatched at the end, which was really, fun to watch, obviously, And, yeah. DM finishing first, but still losing. It's not good. I don't like that, but it is what it is. It's obviously a part of finals. And that'll be the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you push the notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new challenge video. I got more challenge content coming. I am so sorry, guys, for taking so long to push out content. It's been a month since I released challenge content, and now I'm back. I'm going to give you guys consistent challenge content for a while. I'm putting Survivor on the back burner. Love Island's going to be there, but it's going to also be on the back burner, so y'all don't have to worry about that. It is challenge time. Peace.